Tuesday, March 11. The Song of My Beloved. In amazing ways, God has manifested his love and righteousness amid the cosmic conflict. Yet, some might ask, should God have done more than he has done to prevent and or remove evil? We have seen a cosmic conflict framework that indicates that God has acted in order to respect the free will necessary for the maximal flourishing of love relationships between him and humanity. Further, he has apparently acted within moral constraints or rules of engagement, within the context of a cosmic dispute over his character, which can only be settled by the demonstration of his love. Read Isaiah 5 verses 1 to 4. Who is speaking in these verses? Whom is Isaiah speaking about? Whom do the vineyard and the vineyard owner represent? And what is the significance of the actions of the vineyard owner on behalf of the vineyard? What is the result? Isaiah 5 verses 1 to 4. I will sing for the one I love a song about his vineyard. My loved one had a vineyard on a fertile hillside. He dug it up and cleared it of stones and planted it with the choicest vines. He built a watchtower in it and cut out a winepress as well. Then he looked for a crop of good grapes, but it yielded only bad fruit. Now, you dwellers in Jerusalem and people of Judah, judge between me and my vineyard. What more could have been done for my vineyard than I have done for it? And when I looked for good grapes, why did it yield only bad? In these verses, Isaiah sings a song of his beloved, a vineyard. The vineyard owner is God himself, and the vineyard represents God's people. But the implications here can also be expanded relative to God's broader work in this world. According to these verses, the vineyard owner, God, did everything that reasonably could be expected to ensure the flourishing of his vineyard. The vineyard should have produced good grapes, but it produced only wild grapes, which other translations refer to as worthless grapes. Indeed, the Hebrew wording here literally could be translated stink fruit. God's vineyard brings forth rotten grapes. Isaiah 5 and verse 3 shifts to God himself speaking, inviting people to judge between him and his vineyard. And in verse 4, God himself sets forth the all-important question: what more could have been done to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Why then, when I expected it to bring forth good grapes, did it bring forth wild grapes? What more could he do? How fascinating that he even asks others to judge what he has done. Question for reflection. When you look at the cross, where God offered himself as a sacrifice for our sin, how do his words, "What more could have been done to my vineyard that I have not done in it," take on an utterly amazing significance?
Tuesday, March 11. The Song of My Beloved. God in his Son had been seeking fruit and had found none. Israel was a cumberer of the ground. Its very existence was a curse, for it filled the place in the vineyard that a fruitful tree might fill. It robbed the world of the blessings that God designed to give. The Israelites had misrepresented God among the nations. They were not merely useless, but a decided hindrance. To a great degree, their religion was misleading and wrought ruin instead of salvation. In the parable, the dresser of the vineyard does not question the sentence that the tree, if it remained fruitless, should be cut down, but he knows and shares the owner's interest in that barren tree. Nothing could give him greater joy than to see its growth and fruitfulness. He responds to the desire of the owner, saying, "Let it alone this year also, till I shall dig about it and dung it, and if it bear fruit, well." The gardener does not refuse to minister to so unpromising a plant. He stands ready to give it still greater care. He will make its surroundings most favorable and will lavish upon it every attention. Christ's Object Lessons, page 215. On the hills of Palestine, our Heavenly Father had planted this goodly vine, and He Himself was the husbandman. Many were attracted by the beauty of this vine and declared its heavenly origin. But to the leaders in Israel, it appeared as a root out of a dry ground. They took the plant and bruised it and trampled it under their unholy feet. Their thought was to destroy it forever. But the heavenly husbandman never lost sight of his plant. After men thought they had killed it, he took it and replanted it on the other side of the wall. The vine stock was to be no longer visible. It was hidden from the rude assaults of men. But the branches of the vine hung over the wall. They were to represent the vine. Through them, grafts might still be united to the vine. From them, fruit has been obtained. There has been a harvest which the passers-by have plucked. The Desire of Ages, page 675. Could God give us any greater proof of His love than in thus giving His Son to pass through this scene of suffering? And as the gift of God to man was a free gift, His love infinite, so His claims upon our confidence, our obedience, our whole heart, and the wealth of our affections are correspondingly infinite. He requires all that it is possible for man to give. The submission on our part must be proportionate to the gift of God. It must be complete and wanting in nothing. We are all debtors to God. He has claims upon us that we cannot meet without giving ourselves a full and willing sacrifice. He claims prompt and willing obedience, and nothing short of this will He accept. Testimonies for the Church, Volume 3, page 369.
And remember, God is always faithful.